Welcome back to VME Vaginismus, Let's Name It Not Shame It. I'm Audrey Cairo, and yes, I'm back with another episode. I really cannot believe it's been a whole year since you've heard from me. But really, truly my apologies. But let's say that life has taken over and there have been a few distractions. This said, one of these distractions got me to binge watch a bit. And I got to binge watch Channel 4's Virgin Island. Channel 4 is in the UK, if you're listening from abroad. But this is a show where 12 courageous adults are on a unique intimacy course and where they learn more about themselves, their bodies, sexualities, and learn to overcome their intimacy anxieties. There is so much to say about the show, but I personally simply loved watching the contestants grow in their confidence. I truly jumped up around episode 5 when the lovely Pia shared part of her vaginismus story. And as you know, it's not much out there in the media, so I was instantly captivated and be like, oh, what is happening? This is amazing. So this also kicked me in the butt to come into action, as I really wanted to hear more from her, as I was so proud, even if I hadn't met her as yet. So I got her on the show, and in this podcast, we learn more about Pia and who she is and her story, and about how the show was the boost that she really needed and how it has changed her life. If you haven't watched Virgin Island, the show, as yet, and want to find out more before listening, do try to find it online, as we really reference it a lot. Then you can come back to have a listen. And if not, if you can't find it, just still simply listen and let me know what you think. And good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, it's afternoon. Almost. Okay. Let me start again. Good evening, Pia. So lovely, lovely, lovely to have you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yes, I am I saw you. When did I contact you? Was it a month ago?
I think so, yeah, around a month ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was also quite late at night. Because I was binge watching the show you were on, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of this girl. I need to send a message. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. Oh, why should I maybe ask her to come on the podcast? And I had this moment of 1 a.m. Let me send a message to someone who doesn't know me. Let's see how she reacts.
No, I love that though. I love that energy.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming back, because we'll do a proper introduction. But I'm just going to say, as I say with everyone, and my enthusiasm hasn't gone down yet, but I'm so really excited to have you because, yeah, I've watched you with joy. And even if it was a short moment, I was so extremely proud. So I'm going to say this 100 times in today's podcast anyway, but I was very, very proud.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Yes. So I'm let's introduce people who you are. I just always like to start with a bit of an icebreaker question. And I wanted to ask you that if you had one word that would describe your current relationship with your vagina, what would it be?
Oh, see, I've prepared for this one. God, I'm so excited. I would say it's peaceful, because I feel like for a long time we were just at war with each other, me and my vagina.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, we're in a good place now. There's peace between us. And now, yeah, it's kind of just, what's the word? How should I phrase it? Just, we're learning together what's good, what's not good. So yeah.
So peaceful after being at war.
After being at war.
Yeah. peaceful and learning together.
Yeah.
Right? And I love the fact that you're saying together, because it's now one.
Well,
yeah. In the intro, I would have already given a little bit of an introduction, but just knowing that it's peaceful after being at war together. As I said, I've loved watching you in episode 5 of Virgin Island of Channel 4. And oh my God, there's so much to say just on the show itself, but we can get there in a bit. I almost feel maybe let's talk and discuss more about who you are, and then we can maybe work towards how you gotten to be as brave to sign up as well, if you like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah. So if you think of vaginismus, because would you like to share, like when was the first time that you found out about the word?
Yeah, so it wasn't that long ago. I want to say over lockdown, I kind of started to look into it more. So I'd always kind of, so like when I first like got my period, I, learned how to use tampons. I just couldn't do it. So that's kind of when I was like kind of started noticing some problems I might have. I was like, oh, okay, like, people around me are using tampons and, seemingly like not having any issues, and I'm having these issues. Yeah, so I just kind of, but for the longest time, like throughout my teens, I just kind of put it to the back of my mind. I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna, stress about that now. Like it's because it's a hard thing to bring up with like, friends and family and like doctors, like going to the doctor. I didn't feel comfortable doing that yet. So I kind of was like, okay. And then as I got older and, started having, experiences
Mhm.
with, like with people, and it just kind of came up again. I was like, okay, this, there's something definitely going on here. And I started to kind of research it more. I was like, yeah, vaginismus, that sounds like what I have. I did a lot of just a lot of Googling, really.
Yeah.
A lot of like TikTok as well, because I feel like over lockdown, like TikTok kind of started to grow a lot more. And I would just kind of, see people talking about it, like looking it up and stuff. And yeah, I was just like, oh, I relate to what they're saying. Like, so this,
Yeah.
I feel sure that this is what I'm going through as well.
Yeah. So it was really like during the time where we could stand still when it was lockdown, like the time when this podcast was created, because we had more
Yeah.
time. You were actually, as you said, researching and being like, "Oh, what's going on?" But as you said, I don't know if you've heard it in previous podcasts, like always there's a moment that a tampon comes into the
It
story.
always, yeah, it is. Like
Yeah.
listening like to podcasts, I'm just like, yes, everyone, like I just like, yeah, so many other people have this experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and because what happened then, like, when you did find out, like as you said, because you know what made me chuckle slightly when you said when I start having my microphone almost fell as always, but you said when I start having experiences,
Yeah.
and there's shyness that I recognize, which I also saw when I was watching you on the show, and it's so funny because I'll be like the experiences when you said where like we'll touch base on it later because it's interesting because like there was such a I don't know the show was so out there where you come across as well as quite
Yeah.
shy,
I'm a
right?
bit more reserved. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when, as you said, when you start having experiences, then that added on top of the tampon mystery, we'll say. But what happened when you did find out? Like, where did you go then?
Yeah, so I didn't do a lot, to be honest, because I still had that. I guess I felt like a lot of shame around it. So I just kind of just did my research myself. There were so many times where I wanted to go to see a doctor, but I just felt like I couldn't in a way. I just got very, what's the word? Yeah, I just felt very anxious about the whole situation. So I just kind of kept it to myself. I was like, okay, like I can find ways of. I tried to like I started to find ways of like kind of managing it and working through it myself in a way. Just kind of being like, what is good, what's not good, and yeah. And then
Yeah. Do you mind sharing like what were type of ways that because no, like to be honest, I have two questions that came up because
yeah,
one is of course a big one when we're talking about like anxiety around it, and these are a few things that I also mentioned that you also mentioned on the show of how you were feeling and the shame as we say um because yeah, how was that for you? Because it's quite of a you see it online, there's things there you see on TikTok, and then there's this internal conversation going on too. So what was happening for you?
exactly. Yeah, it's just for me, it's like a lot of cases like it's just finding the right words to explain things. sometimes I just like, I have all the thoughts in my head and I can't get them out like very clearly. So I find that, yeah, quite challenging. And it was just like, I was just like, what the doctor's gonna say? Like, what am I gonna have to do? I'm like, am I gonna have to do all these like scary things? I started looking at like dilators as well. Just doing research on those. I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready, sort of thing. And it's something like I wish I had done then, but I kind of looking back on it now, like I'm trying not to be as hard on myself and not, kind of taking those steps myself.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So so did you in the end? So you kept it you kept it for yourself,
I did, yeah.
and then you tried to find different ways along the way.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. So I was open about this when I was going through the process for the show, but I've kind of been active in like the kink community since I turned like 18. And this is something I've known about myself since I was like quite young in my teens. I'd be like fan fiction and things like that.
Yeah.
I was just kind of, oh, this like, this is something that's happening in my brain. And so when I turned 18, I started like meeting people and having experiences that didn't center around penetrative sex. It was kind of, like kink and BDSM. So like I was having sexual experiences, but not I guess the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever normal is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Like the PIV, like what people might think that comes with it when you,
exactly, yeah. So I was having these experiences, but kind of feeling like something was missing in a way, which I guess that's probably what led me to, like do more research into vaginismus in the first place. I guess over lockdown, I was like, okay, like because I think at the time I thought like, oh, this is what's missing. Like once I experience this is gonna make everything even better, and I'm gonna feel more, I guess, complete in a way. That's kind of how I was feeling at the time. I thought it would make me feel like complete, and like my experiences. I think at the time as well, I didn't think my experiences were very like valid because I hadn't done that. I remember when I was applying for the show, I was like, it feels like I've skipped some steps
Mm.
in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. It's like, oh, like you made me want to go into two different directions. Like part of me, I want to be like, is this the time for us to introduce the show and how you got in there and what the thoughts were? But then the other part of me is like, ooh, tell me more about you. And like, and thinking about like stepping into the kink community. Because that's like, as you said, so there was like for you at 18, there was a finding, as you said already,
Yeah.
and an interest and a curiosity. But then while kind of exploring, that was this one thing that in, as we said, between brackets, because we say like the
Yeah.
norm or whatever, between quote, whatever, like we both put our fingers up in the air,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like this thing, like maybe what we both know that it's not maybe always the norm, or not the norm, doesn't have to be the norm, but
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that you were like, oh, there's something still to figure out. Do you mind sharing about like thinking about what got you into like kink community?
Yeah, no, I don't mind sharing at all. So I kind of discovered these feelings through like being on the internet and reading fan fiction and stuff. And I kind of discovered like a very niche sort of kink that I enjoy, which is tickling,
Mm-hmm.
which is, it's very niche. And when some people hear it, they're just like, there's a lot of confusion. If I was like, what, like you enjoy that? Like how do you enjoy that? But it's something I kind of found through like, I feel like Tumblr was the place where I just kind of discovered everything like fan art and fan fiction. So I knew that about myself as well, and I was like keeping that a secret because I was like, how I can't like, I was quite young at the time. I was like, I definitely can't tell people. Like even at that age, I kind of knew. I was like, this is something I'm keeping to myself for now.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 18, I started just finding all these different like online spaces, and I started talking to people about it, and I started meeting people in that in that scene as well. And I had a lot of good experiences in that, and I was always I tried to be as open as possible with the people I was meeting, like about my vaginismus. And like at the time, I guess I didn't really have a name for it. I was like, I can't really do this. I can't really do the penetrative sex, and that's like, and I think even at the time, I wasn't even that interested in it. Honestly, I was just kind of like at the beginning, I wasn't very interested. I was like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I enjoy, and I just kind of, focused my attention there in that sort of kink space. And then, as time got on, especially during like COVID and stuff, I kind of had these feelings, oh, actually, like this is something I would like to experience. So yeah, that's kind of when the research started. I was like, okay, like maybe let's look into this. Is there a way I can kind of experience this? And yeah, I was just yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what I love is that, like, so a while ago I was studying, and one of my I don't know what to call her, study colleagues that doesn't exist, but yeah, another student was doing her research into kink, and because she was part of the community herself, and it was very much about communication and how well people can communicate about their wants, and that is of course something really beautiful, especially if like, in other parts in the world we find it really hard to communicate about anything sexual or sex or our wants or our pleasures because it's hush hush. But it was really great that when I spoke to her about her research of the communication around it, how much there is to learn from the community itself, right? As you said, like you were able to communicate what you wanted or what you can or can't do or want to do.
Yeah, I really struggled with it at first. And I feel like even still to this day, like there's still a lot that I, need to learn. And I feel like I'm always learning. But yeah, especially at the start, I found it quite difficult to say all these like wants and desires out loud. Because I was just like, I'm quite a shy, shy person. So yeah, it's quite difficult. But yeah, I guess with the penetrative sex side of things, I kind of have to be. I was like, I need to be upfront. It kind of pushed me in that sense, I guess, to improve my communication slightly, like to get it to a good enough level where I was having like good experiences with people. But yeah, still, I guess, yeah, 18 is very young still to have everything figured out and stuff with like communication. And I feel like I kind of went straight from having no experiences in my teens to being like straight to like, right, this is what's happening, sort of thing, like kink and stuff. So it was interesting.
Yeah, because like did I get it right? Because I of course did a bit of a online stalking moment. So are you 24 now?
I'm 25 now.
25 now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because the time before production and all the things, like, so it's
It's so weird because I had my birthday out there, so I've had all these news articles come out saying, Pia, 23. I'm like, I'm 23 again. Oh my god. This is great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is the age now, people.
This is the age. Yeah.
This is what they've said, and it's true.
I'm gonna go with it.
Exactly. So 25 now, and and from 18 to 25, lots have happened, we'll say. And so let's maybe now go into Virgin Island. Like, so we've got COVID. We're 5 years after. I don't want to say after COVID because, but in a way, we had 5 random years.
Yeah.
And you said during COVID, that's when you started to find out more about vaginismus and you took it into your own hands. Can you maybe move from there to be like, okay, so when you took it into your own hands, what happened?
Yeah. So, around that time I was just kind of researching and just trying to learn as much as I can about my own body. And I wasn't ready to go. Yeah, like I said, wasn't ready to go to the doctors yet. And then, so I finished university 2021. I got a job. So I went straight into working into marketing. And I feel like once I got that job, which was a great job, I put a lot of energy into it and I found it I was finding it hard to kind of, I feel like everything else like went on the back burner, like social life. And I guess like we were still in the midst of COVID and whatnot as well. So I was kind of like, okay, that's my focus. And then, yeah, I feel like, like I'm a bit all over the place. I'm like, there's so much, there's so many layers to this. But yeah, when I saw I think I saw it on a TikTok. I saw someone talking about that Channel 4 were looking for virgins for this new show. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'll check it out. And like, at the time I was like, am I a virgin sort of thing? And that's kind of, I was honest about that as well. Like when I was applying, I was like, I don't know if I'm a virgin, but I have these issues. So yeah, from that TikTok, I kind of found, the application page, and I was reading all like the different bullet points, like issues of intimacy, and yeah, just I'm trying to think of like what was on there right now, but they had a list of stuff. I was like, a lot of this like applies to me, I feel. So I kind of just went for it. And yeah, I was like, yeah, the vaginismus is like, that's the main reason why I applied. So I was like, I was very honest about that. I was like, I've had these experiences, I've done this, I've done that, but I have vaginismus, and I feel like I felt like it was holding me back at the time. So that's kind of why I mentioned, I kind of was just like, I just want to learn more about myself and about my vaginismus, and just understand myself better, really.
Yeah. So because you just answered one of the questions that I had about what made you apply, but it was to learn to understand yourself better.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if that's something that I could experience in the future. Like what kind of, like, I just wanted it to put me on the right track in a sense. That's kind of why I applied. Yeah, I just wanted to be on the right track with my vaginismus.
Yeah. So how was it? Because then you gotten a response, and they were like, "Yep, we want you there."
Yes, so it was like it was a long process. There was lots of different like Zoom meetings, lots of like different like forms to fill out. So this took quite a few months, I think. I want to say at least like 4 months or so.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is that's quite a long time. It was quite a long time in my life. And at that point as well, I was made redundant at the start of 2024. So it's like I kind of, nothing to do with the show or anything, just unrelated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I put all my energy into it. I was like, okay, like I was just settled out. I was like, I really want this opportunity. I was like, I need this. I kind of felt like, I kind of just felt like I needed it. I was like, I need help with it. So
yeah. And then you're whisked off, and you're with other participants, and this is what I have been trying to hold in, because literally what I've loved when at the start. Oh, no, let me actually, I don't know. Like I've got like 5,000 things that go through my head that I wouldn't want to tell you, but like one that you could see over the episodes, you see everyone flourishing in a specific way. And of course, as a confidence coach, for me, that's amazing to watch because, as you said, you're quite shy, like, but then also separately is that you all were dressed quite similar. So you're not your normal self or what you would do when you go out and about all the time, I feel. So everyone looked like back to basic in a way.
Yeah, very much that.
And that you can't really see yet of who your personality is. Because when I look at your Instagram, I was like, look at this girl. Or I don't know, like, like, look at her. Like all the colors of the rainbow, whoop, and I love it. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, because they were kind of like in their normal outfits, bland.
Exactly. Yeah, we all just just the uniform was very, very basic. It was very comfy. It was very comfy though.
Exactly.
I was like, it's so comfortable. But yeah, and even like there was a few people trying to like do different things to stand out. Like I know Tom had some like really funky socks, which I love the funky socks, and Charlotte had like she had this like lovely costume jewelry. But I just kind of, I didn't even think of that stuff when I was packing, honestly. I think I had 2 necklaces and 2 earrings, and I was too tired to do makeup every morning. So I kind of I leaned into that of the whole like basic of it.
Yeah, it was like a basic look. And then like, and this is how we mostly all wake up, and in the morning, in the day, like but it's just really interesting because then you can just see the shyness a little bit behind the makeup.
Yeah, because
And
I feel like I do use it as a bit of a barrier, or just a maybe like armor in a way. I just kind of like an outer, you know what I mean. It's hard to
yeah,
explain.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel like especially like taking away all of that, just it was very vulnerable, but I feel like it was needed.
yeah, yeah. How was your experience? Because I like, of course, what I said in episode 5 is where there was where you came to the light in a
Yeah,
way. And as I mentioned before, like it was just, even if it was short element, but it was so important, I think,
yeah,
for especially the vaginismus community, if we will say, we will mark us as a community
yeah.
in a way, that because it's always great when it's mentioned and when it's described. How was it for you to share this in, because there you are. That was one of the reasons why you signed up, but how was that for you?
Yeah, the experience as a whole was just like I learned so much about myself and the things I needed to work on. But as a whole, I just like it's honestly it's like genuinely like changed my life, and like it was kind of hard to open up about the vaginismus and just kind of how do I like just like face it, like because I've been, like I said before, kind of pushing it to the side, and like but now like here I couldn't. I was like, oh, I kind of I have to face this, and I wanted to, but it just it was very scary. But working with Thomas was like, it was amazing. Like I feel like we connected very well. Like one of the things I worked on before getting to the stage when I was working with Thomas on the vaginismus stuff, I was working on like connecting with people. So I was working I did a lot of that work with Dava as well. So I feel like I'm a little bit all over the place, but another thing about me is I'm autistic, so I find it hard to connect with people in most situations. Um, so I feel like that's kind of where I started, like on the island. I just kind of would work on that and like taking time to connect with people, because being on the island made me realize that I wasn't doing that before. So even just things of like something that's quite simple, like eye contact, I just like I hate it.
Mm.
Like a term, it just like it doesn't come naturally to me. But I worked with like Dava, and I think was it Danielle that pointed out first? So I had a little meeting with Danielle. She noticed it. She was like, you don't do eye contact. I was like, no, I don't.
Mm.
And then from there, we're just kind of like learning how to kind of use that, and it's difficult to explain. Just making a bit more of a conscious effort in a way, like not obviously making it like a staring contest or anything, but just kind of like a
Yeah.
conscious effort to like connect with like who you're being intimate with. So that was kind of like where I started as well. And then by the time I got to working with Thomas, I feel like because that continued even like when we were doing like the vaginismus work, it was all about like, okay, we're doing this, but also we're also connecting, we're also being present in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I just rambled for ages.
No, no, not at all. Like, and also I have a tendency to just let you ramble because you're saying
Yeah.
so much itself, because you're sharing so much already. And one of the things that you mentioned about you've put things to the side, you push things to the side and you had to bring it back. So one of the things, as you said, like thinking about like the eye contact of how you make contact with people as well. Like what else did you learn that came to light?
I also learned that I had a lot of shame around my kinks and my desires. And that's something like before the iron, I didn't think that I had. I probably would have said like, oh no, like I meet people, I'm very open, but I was like, but thinking about it now, like I was just open with the people that also shared like they had that shared experience, like the same kinks and whatnot, like within the community. But like meeting people outside of it, I kept it very much to myself. And I feel like that was just a big eye opener for me. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I had so much shame. It was a moment where I don't know what episode it was. So there was one where like Danielle, she brings down like a box of like sex toys and like there's different bits and bobs, and I didn't see it, but like I was just mortified. I was kind of sinking in my chair, like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. And everyone else was like getting up and like, you know, picking things up and just like exploring and like playing with them. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I hate this.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which is like interesting. I was like, why am I having this reaction? Like, this is, you know, I think like logically, I was like, why I should be, you know, showing everyone everything, like, because that's like, you know, I have experience with that. But yeah, I just kind of like, I was just like, I don't like it. I wanted to go away. I just wanted to run away, basically.
Yeah, you want to run away, which is like, if you're thinking about like in the community, you wouldn't run away. But in a moment where you're not with your people, in the sense of like the people that you know who share the same thoughts or same quirks or like kinks, or like who understand you, who you've had that conversation with, it was different.
Yeah, it was so different. I just felt really like, yeah, because it's like it's just it was a very new environment. I was wearing these different clothes. I was like, it just felt very, I just felt very exposed, and I was just like going into like, I guess it's like fight or flight. Is that what people say? I just wanted to run away.
Yeah. And it's funny because we just said about how, let's say, how our appearance can be. How did you say it? You said it so well. Because I had a
like armor or something.
Armor,
kind of like hide behind.
Yeah. When if you would have had your armor on, and you know, if you would have had, you know, like you got your hair done, you got your nose ring, you got your earrings, and then you're like, ooh, I'm fabulous, I'm great, let's do this. Bring out the toys, I can do this. But then if they strip that away, when it's like, ooh, then they had a different response in you.
Exactly, yeah. And I kind of like, I've realized that's kind of how I feel when it comes to like penetrative sex. Like I feel very exposed. And it's like, oh no, like this is like that's the word, it just like more intimate than what I was doing like in the kink scene. So I feel like it kind of links to that as well. I don't know, just
yeah. But that's it's amazing learning, because you're there and you're figuring it out, and they're likely told you like, oh, that's interesting, what do you think about that?
Exactly. Yeah, it was just like, I just remember someone saying, it was, I can't remember who, but just like they just asked me that, oh, did it feel like your parents had like found your box or something, and they were just showing it to everyone. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of how I feel, like just kind of, I just felt so embarrassed. And I was just like, why do I feel so embarrassed?
Yeah. Did you find the answer?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a case of like, just a shame. Like I just carried so much shame around it. And I guess going back to like before the island, I felt like my experiences weren't valid because it didn't involve penetrative sex. So I feel like it's kind of all linked in that sense. Like I felt like my desires, they're not enough in a way. I felt like at the time, like that working through my vaginismus and having penetrative sex would kind of not like, I guess like cure me in a way, but like this, what is there to cure? Like I'm just, you know, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Like to me, it does make sense. Like, but it's as you said, the shame was saying certain things of not. Yeah, like, oh, if you haven't had penetrative sex, then even if you have your kinks and even if you have different type of pleasure, then it's maybe not valid because this is what the norm is again, right?
Exactly,
we come back to that. And then you said then it kind of pushes, you've pushed your pleasures and your wants aside in a way.
I just kind of was just like, pushing that to the side when I know now that I'm like, oh no, I should be embracing these things about me. So
yeah, like when I was looking it up earlier today again, it's like, what did others actually say about the show? And there must have been such a mixed response to it. And like personally, like what did I write down? because I wrote down for myself, because I was like, Audrey, don't forget to say this, because I thought it was simply amazing. Like, it was amazing to watch you, and as I said, the others to really flourish and being brave. There was like in the beginning, of course, the moments that we likely all have that were like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, can I, what, like me and my pillow going, ooh. But then I think after episode one, I'm like, oh, I'm just throwing my pillow away. I can watch now, right? I think it was like, oh, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what would this show be about. But then getting to know you and getting to know everyone, then in the end, you don't care about it anymore, or I felt I didn't care about it anymore. But then, of course, as you said, like I've read online, where people said, oh, it's heartwarming, it's thought provoking, but for others, it might have been like a bit uncomfortable. But for you, when you're there, right? Like, how was it for you to be there?
Yeah, so it was, I definitely felt like that with the pillow. Like for the first like few days, it took a while for that feeling to go away, honestly. I feel like maybe after the first like 4 days, I started to feel, for me, I started to like come out of my shell a bit more and kind of, what's the word, just kind of settle like into my environment, I guess. But yeah, I just remember on the first day where Danielle and Andre did the wall push, I was just like, I need to go home. I don't want to be here. I want to cry. I think I just cried a bit and I just looked down. I was like, I don't like it.
Yes, like because I watched your face, like you sometimes see that you just like look down, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yes, she's disappearing in herself right now, right?
Very, yeah.
Because yeah, like I was with my pillow going, ooh, but I'm still looking. Where you were sitting there, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go look down for a second and see what how that goes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so interesting and like it just, yeah, every day got easier, but it was interesting. I remember when the animal game happened and I managed to sit through it and I didn't leave the room. And I was like, I sat through it. Yay. I didn't do it, but I sat through it. And that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's a step in the right direction at least.
Like what we said earlier, there's like, or maybe I should ask you the question. Hold on. Maybe I should ask you the question of like the different parts of yourself that that show up in different moments, right? Because as you said, like the shy self that comes up when it's in an environment that we don't know and and it was provocative, well, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, like I don't know. I almost feel I want to be in the situation to figure out how I would respond, because I don't know if I would be very different
Yeah.
in a way, or let's say at least the first days going like, what can I, like, how should I feel, right? But then, as you said, you eased into it,
Yeah.
and you started with connection and eye contact and how that was for you. And what is it that you've learned of you and vaginismus when you were there?
Yeah. So when I started the Vaginismus work with Thomas, it was just like I was so nervous going into it. Um and I was very just I was like, oh, this is the moment, like I'm gonna have to like face this. But yeah, Thomas made the whole experience just so much like just so comfortable and just safe as well. I think that's a big part of it. I just felt so safe working with him. Yeah, and then like initially when it was described to me, because obviously there's like layers of like I can't just go into this session. I was like, no, it has to it had to explain to me and like, different consent checks and stuff. And I was like, I was a bit anxious about it being like clinical, because I guess like it's coming back to like that fear of going like to the doctors and stuff. And I was very worried, but I was reassured that like it wouldn't feel like that. So I was just like, okay. So I had a bit of anxiety going in, but as soon as I did get in and started working with Thomas, I realized that it wouldn't be like that, and it was very educational, but it was also very intimate and just a nice like positive experience. So yeah, I feel like don't know where to start.
You know, fair enough. It's like maybe start with, because if you think of start wherever you like to start. Because I'm just curious, because I do know when I rewatched it, the part that they show on the show, or the part that they show on the show, okay, that is just a tongue twister already.
Yeah, I get what you
mean. Like he's explaining about, of course, what vaginismus is, and then but also about what that part, because likely we only see a minute of what it went, and he was talking about genital mapping.
Yes.
Right.
So that was very, obviously you only see a very tiny bit of the show, but we were working on that. Like it was a lot longer session.
Of course.
And it was very like thorough and in detail. So what that involved was just like, we started with doing like a sensual like massage and stuff, just kind of like, I guess just to like relax my nervous system as well. Like and obviously at the same time like connecting, making eye contact, and just kind of like breathing through it as well. Like I also learned when I was there, like breathing is very important.
Yeah.
Breathing deeply and just kind of, taking the time to just settle yourself and settle your nerves. Like I always felt like there was a tightness in my chest, and I kind of learned as well just kind of to like take a minute and just kind of let that feeling disperse and stuff. So that's kind of, that's how like that session started. And then we kind of moved on to the genital mapping, and that kind of just involved exploring each bit of my like vagina, just it's just
like each part of your vulva. Yeah, you're like, I'm getting shy, Rodrigo. What is it?
But yeah, just the vulva and the clitoris and stuff, and God to show this. God,
I wish that we were doing video in general, because
my face just goes so
you're just like got a little bit shy there, and you're heating up, and you're like, ooh, but please don't feel that you have to share everything. But I am, of course, very curious.
Yeah,
because...
like it was so interesting. I want to do it justice. I feel like all my thoughts going everywhere, but it was very educational. So what Thomas would do is just like apply pressure to different areas and do different kinds of touches. And I would just kind of, the whole time I was just kind of feeling back like, oh, that feels good. That feels a bit uncomfortable. Like, oh, that feels painful, sort of thing. So yeah, I guess, we just worked like on the vulva and stuff first. And then it got to the part where like penetration was going to happen. And it was really interesting. So Thomas did this thing called like the clock method. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to like show you.
Yeah, no, people, but we'll just put it in the notes so you can explain it, and then people can look it up while you explain it. So yes, maybe
so
share.
What Thomas would do is just like just kind of apply pressure to each part of like my vaginal opening, and then just kind of be like, okay, so that like sorry, I just like all my words just going, and just kind of apply pressure to each part and just see which parts are like tighter, which parts are like just like, it was so like detailed, just like at each part of like sorry.
No, like I'm getting a picture of it, but it's like, so it's like the clock method, where like, as you said, he goes into like in a circular way.
Yeah, in a circular way. Yeah.
And checking which part is tight, which part is maybe more relaxed, or just, and as well how it feels for you.
Yeah, exactly. And like what feels good and what doesn't. And like he would also do like different like motions with his fingers, and just like kind of just move them gently, like kind of vibrate them, and just while I was just breathing through it. And it's like, can I work through some uncomfortableness to feel this pleasure, or is it just Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I'm just like trying to find the right words. But
Yeah, no, I think you're using the right words to
yeah,
me, or yeah. Like
yeah,
how was it for you to have that done by someone else? Because like what I like, there's a like I know that in certain, let's say in the UK is different approaches, and then in the Netherlands, and then in the US, and I think that in certain parts in the world there is more hands-on approach to vaginismus, where of course here in the UK there's more, like I've said this in like every podcast about, mostly you first go to psychosexual therapy and then you talk, but then like thinking about pelvic floor therapy is maybe not an instant recommendation, and this is again a whole different method in a way where the trust that you had to have in him is huge, of course, too. But
yeah.
how was it to have it done by someone else where you have kind of maybe shied away from it yourself for a bit, or even within the community itself have let that go? So how was that?
Yeah, I found it like going into it, I was a bit scared, but like before then I'd had the chance to work with Thomas on like, other things like connecting and um like, some work on like the shame around my kinks and stuff. So by the time it got to those sessions, I felt very comfortable around Thomas, and I found it like for me personally just very helpful to have someone who kind of knows what they're doing, like to explore and that in that sense, because I feel like I before I just found it really hard to like to know what to do and what to like, yeah, the words aren't coming to me. But I find it very helpful to have to be guided through it in that sense, because I feel like by myself I don't know if there was a part of me that just like didn't trust myself, if that makes sense. Like I kind of, yeah, I just don't know how to put this into words. Just kind of, yeah, I just didn't trust my own judgment and feel comfortable in myself before. So I feel like I kind of needed that guidance in a
Yeah.
way.
Was the trust about not doing it right, or not sure if it will be hurtful or painful,
Yeah, I guess
or
like yeah, just I'm anxious about the pain, and it's like I guess like I think of doing it right as well. I'm just like I just felt very like lost in a way. I was just like I don't want to. Like, yeah, I think I was just kind of scared to get things wrong, and I was like, where I should have just yeah. Looking back, it's like you know, like now, like post Island me, I was like, oh, like it's normal to like explore and stuff. But I feel like I think maybe I'm just such a like I don't know if like perfectionist is the right word, but I just I get very anxious about like messing things up. So
yeah,
yeah, I feel like that's probably a big part of it.
yeah, yeah,
Honestly, I was like, I don't trust my yeah, I just don't trust my judgment. At least at the time, I was just like, yeah, I just
yeah,
yeah, just very lost overall, honestly.
yeah. But like I don't know. It might be dangerous to say it this way, but I feel that there is something as well in the research about one being anxious, but also wanting to do it right. Like that is something that comes in to play. Like, is this the right thing? Is it okay? Is it, like
Yeah,
the perfectionist part of, that, yeah, that of course, then we better not do it because we don't know if it's done well enough.
yeah, I
But
just get in my own head, really. I just
yeah,
all the yeah,
yeah, like the overthinking part and the self-critique part. So, okay. So one, of course, the clip, because I was like, was that your first orgasm in
yeah,
that way on the
yeah.
show?
It was on the show, and I'd never experienced that before. And it, yeah, I just in the words, I'm trying to find the words, but it just felt amazing to know that I could experience that as well.
Yeah.
Because I guess I just wasn't sure. Like I'd before the I'd tried, I tried like explore myself a bit, but I just always, for me, I never got to the point where I felt safe enough and I guess relaxed enough to kind of experience that, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And just
Yeah.
yeah, so it was over 2 sessions where I worked with Thomas on Vaginismus, and yeah, so it didn't happen all in one session. It was
No, no, no.
sure,
Like
I think
I,
I'm allowed to say that, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
was
And
yeah.
I like maybe it's that's good for the listeners to know, like just because I have an history in TV production, so I know that we just see this just tiny bit that has been a longer process for you.
Yeah.
And of course, your story, that's the reason why I really wanted to have you here to actually hear your story more because, mostly when vaginismus is mentioned, it's sometimes very quick. And then it's like, oh, and then magically this happened where I'm like, hold on a second, there's so much more that
Yeah.
happened
And
for
if
her.
yeah, if I'm like really honest, that was hard to watch at first because it was very much like it did feel very much like you met like described, just very much like, oh, this is, and then but
Done.
when I was there, it was a longer process and we really like I got to take my time and I felt just that made me feel really safe as well because I feel like before I hadn't given myself like the time, if that makes sense. I hadn't set time aside to like kind of explore, like I didn't allow myself to kind of slow down and stuff. And I feel like even with like sexual partners and stuff, I felt like I couldn't do that. I couldn't take my time and really explore. So I yeah, having the opportunity to have that on the island was like just changed everything. So
Yeah, yeah. Like you just said something that I'm curious about because you said with sexual partners you might have not had been able to. Like what made like did you could you share a little bit more? Sorry, just because I'm curious about
yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, I just felt like in a way I thought it would make me selfish if I wanted to slow down and really take time for myself in that way, if that makes a bit more sense. I just kind of felt a bit too anxious to maybe vocalize that, like, oh, I need to like slow down and maybe just relax into it and stuff.
Yeah.
That yeah, so I just kind of felt like I was being selfish. It wasn't anything that anyone else was doing. It was all on me. It was just kind of like, oh, I feel I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to, you know, I guess I just felt like almost I wasn't worthy of it in a way. I just kind of
Mm.
felt like I didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Don't really know why.
Yeah, but it ties back into what you said before as well, right? Like your experience not being as valid, like it was, like thinking about the other, or I don't want to be selfish, so I'm not going to explore. This is not the time. But then actually being away and having to focus completely on you, that allows you to stand still with it a little bit more and to explore, and with the help of a professional to explore your body, really.
Yeah, because like with the vaginismus work I did and like the work, like working through like the shame around my kinks and stuff, I kind of learned that I am worthy of that time and attention. And that was very, what's the word? Just very, yeah, it just kind of changed everything. I just, I don't know how to explain it, just like learning to like give myself that love in a way, if that makes sense. Like, know that I'm,
Make 100%. But I'm like, sorry, I didn't like, I really hope I didn't interrupt you there because I'm
no,
like,
no, no.
yeah,
I wanted to
yeah.
know where I was going with that. So it's all good.
No, but I'm like, yeah, like you're worthy of it. And that is, and that's, I think, what sometimes it's so hard because of the shame, it masks it. And you've had that time to be surrounded by people to teach you that, um,
Yeah,
yeah. And that's so beautiful. I think,
yeah.
yeah. Like, how does it feel when you say it?
Yeah, oh god, it feels weird. It's just like bringing back all the feelings as well. I feel like it's been a weird like, so it's been about a month since the show ended, and I've kind of just like gone back to like reality. Like I've got like a different job now, and I'm kind of that's been my main focus for like this past for like 4 weeks. So it's like, oh, I'm actually like, what's the word? I guess it's nice to kind of like remember everything, like, and just yeah, like to talk about it again
Yeah.
because it was very important. I guess like it was obviously we went out there like over a year ago now, so it's like it's just like every time I bring it up, I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, like I did achieve a lot. Like I did learn a lot when I was there. So that's like, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you there for in total?
We were there for like, I want to say just over 2 weeks, 2.5 ish. Yeah. So it was each episode is like, I guess like 2 days. I guess it was kind of, we worked on each section of the course for like 2 days. So
yeah. Sorry, just because I was like thinking of timelines, but I know like it aired in May. What is it what is the most important part you walked away with? Because like, as I said, like I was rooting for you. I saw the moment, and then of course, like before you knew it, it was episode 6, and I'm like, oh man, that's already end. And but what did you walk away with?
I think the biggest thing is like learning how to connect with other people and like how important that is. Because before, like I've mentioned before, like I felt like my experiences weren't valid. I feel like, sorry, I just kind of rushed through that whole bit. Just learning how important that is, because before I wasn't taking the time to do that. I was kind of just, I feel like even just like, I don't know if dissociating is the right word, but just kind of my brain and my body like wasn't connected. And I guess that's the whole, that is what somatic therapy is. It connects like your mind and your body. And just kind of taking that time to connect with someone and like just be present, like everywhere, like be present. And I think that's why I felt like there was something missing. I thought that, not experiencing penetrative sex was the thing that was missing, but what was actually missing is I wasn't taking the time to connect. I wasn't, being present. I wasn't being in the moment with whoever I was with, whoever partners I was with. So
but
I
also
felt
with yourself.
Exactly, with myself. And there was a whole part on like masturbation as well. And I was like, oh wow, like I don't take time for myself, because when we were watching like Kat's demonstration, I'm not sure if they showed us watching Kat. So sorry,
no, I think they showed, like I don't think they showed, to be honest, what do I know, like because I binged it, and
yeah.
like it doesn't mean that I remember everything, but I remember the box, but I don't think I remember watching.
Yeah, so there was a part where we watched Kat like masturbate and like use like sex, like use a vibrator, I think. Yeah, she used a vibrator, and like it made me realize like, oh wow, like I'm really not even connecting with myself. Like I'm not slowing down, I'm not taking the time. And I feel like that's kind of what I've walked away with, is like I do deserve that time. And I deserve to kind of connect with people in that way. And like it doesn't have to be so scary. If I just need to slow down, like with the right person, it won't be scary as well. Because I did sorry.
Yeah, like what just came up, because you're like, I did.
I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm going. I feel like I was trying to say like, before I wasn't doing that, and I just wasn't allowing myself to kind of just take the time and slow things down. Just like really slowing things down. I just kind of felt, again, this comes back to the being selfish thing. Like I need to kind of, it's not selfishness, it's just, I am important. Like I am important enough. So I need to, really.
Yeah, no, you are. And I love that has been a finding and a learning along the way. Like, I don't know, like the word present came up in my mind too, with when you say slowing down, like, and slowing down and connecting with the other, which, being present with the other, but then also, as you said, being present with yourself, knowing that you are worthy in those moments. So, but yeah, it's beautiful that has happened. So after, like, let's say then it's a wrap and then it's there, and like, where are you now?
So it's been like a really like interesting year. I feel just the whole experience has made me a lot more confident in myself. That's kind of what I've taken away with it. like even like little things, like so getting my septum piercing. I didn't
Mm.
have that before because I was just so nervous to even just going to like the shop to get it done. And I got this done like 3 weeks after come back. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Like I can do these things.
Yeah.
I can be confident. But yeah, since the show I've kind of a lot of my time has been spent job hunting, which is, which is a shame, but I guess it's just like a life gets in the way sort of thing. But I feel I've still managed to kind of put myself out there more, like with dating and stuff. And I feel, what's the word? I just feel like I know myself better. So when I meet new people, I'm having better experiences, and I'm just, yeah. Yeah, just kind of having better experiences and like just enjoying myself more. I think that's the main thing, is like prioritizing my pleasure over what is, I guess, the norm.
Yeah.
As we were,
Yeah.
finger quotes and stuff, like what is expected, I guess, of of people in society. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where would you say that you're now with vaginismus?
With vaginismus, I feel like, yeah, that's been interesting. So obviously I've just turned 25, and this is kind of the age where you go and get a cervical screening, and that's kind of something I'm kind of working on now, which it's been a bit of a struggle. So I did go, and I did have the confidence. I was like, no, I'm gonna go for it. And then I had like the best nurse in the world, and she's so lovely, but I haven't managed to do it yet.
Mm.
I did like try, and I feel like even that attempt, like I get a bit down about it sometimes, but I feel like that's still like a really big step for me, like even just going, and then not only going but giving it a go as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm in the process of like finding a way to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of like, yeah, I guess that's like very like the medical aspect, I guess, that comes up with like vaginismus, like the medical like struggles.
Yeah.
But like sexually, I feel like I'm in a better place. I'm not like penetrative sex isn't like an end goal for me anymore. It's just like it's something that I could maybe do one day, but at the moment I'm kind of happy. Just I kind of feel like I know what works for me,
Mm.
and I feel a lot more fulfilled, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more like fulfilled in like the experiences I'm having. Because I feel like just the main thing is like my perspective has changed, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and it's also so interesting of how these two scenarios could be very different, because you already said like there was already a fear regarding like more the medicalized side, and you hope that
Yeah.
that wouldn't be the case when going on the show. And when that was taken away, there was a whole different experience, and a different allowance to, for someone to help you explore. But then
Yeah.
when we put you back into the medical world in a way, that's where you notice where your body responds differently
Yeah.
versus maybe exploring with someone else, right? Where we don't have to and there's no need. And it's interesting because for me it was the other way around at one
Oh,
point.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Like for me at one point it was I could go and get tested and being referred at one point, where when I learned all the tools and the things, but then being intimate with my then partner, I would like my body would respond in a different way. Right.
Yeah.
So I think it could show up in, because it's a spasm, and it could be a response or the fear, it could be all these layers.
Yeah.
I always
It
say,
just shows that like, everyone's so different. And
yeah,
that's so interesting.
yeah. If you imagine that Thomas would be the one um, giving you the smear.
Yeah, I feel like that, like, yeah, because we just connected so well, it would definitely make a difference. And
Yeah.
it's just so interesting. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like the feeling of safety as well. Like
Yeah.
that's how I felt when I was working with him. So
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
like even the thought of him doing it is already being like, yeah, like yeah, we could try again. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just so interesting. But just knowing, because I feel I could talk to you until the break of dawn. Because it's like it's going to be an hour and a half. But I just had a few more questions
Yeah,
for
go for it.
you because where will you go from here?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I came back from the island and I kind of wanted to go into like counseling myself, and I'm still like, I still want to do that, but it's just like now I'm just thinking of like the logistics of everything. Um, so at the moment, I'm just kind of needing to do research into that. But I think I think that kind of career, like, you know, I think that would suit me in a way. And I just felt really like inspired like when I left, and I still do. And I was like, this is like amazing work. Or maybe not exactly what, you know, the therapists do, but in that sort of realm of stuff. So that's kind of like, it just gave me like, because obviously I mentioned before that like before I was made redundant, and I was, you know, I was looking for it before and looking for it after when I came back, and I was just like, it just inspired like the whole experience just like changing my perspective on like what's important in life and stuff. And I was just like, this kind of, it felt like it feels like the right thing.
Mm.
But now it's like a case of like, so I'm working now, so I work in like finance now, which is very it's a very different step for me. I never thought I would, but it's a job that I like, and it pays the bills, and I'm just kind of, I feel like it's given me an opportunity words
Opportunity.
an opportunity to kind of just see where I want to go now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like counseling is just that's something I'm still very interested in. So
Yeah. And there's enough time, I would say, you know, like to
that's the thing. Yeah.
figure it out as well, you know.
Yeah.
And but it sounds that the show and the journey you've been on have been really inspiring and given
Yeah.
you a bit of an insight on what different things can bring in general when you're supporting someone in that way. Or
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
necessarily just that way, in different ways.
In different ways, yeah. And I just, I feel like, what was I gonna say? Just since leaving the island, I just feel more just excited for life, honestly. Just kind of looking forward to like meeting new people and doing different things. It's kind of just given me that boost, I think, that I needed, because like before I was just very much like, I don't know if complacent's the right word, just very, I guess, stagnant in my life, and it's just kind of motivated me to kind of give things a go. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You give things a go, and here you are. Like we're
Yeah.
chatting away. We're like, yeah, it was great. So if you think like, what is it you know now? Then, because this is going to be like my end questions coming now. Like, what do you know now that you wished you knew before the show?
Yeah, I wish before the show, I wish I knew, oh gosh, just so many things are just like, when I start. I think just to like, I wish I could like tell myself not to put so much pressure like on myself, and just kind of know that it's okay to like take time and explore, and like there's no rush. Like I wish I knew that like penetrative sex didn't have to be like an end goal. I think that's the biggest, because I put so much pressure on it. And as well, like being like a queer woman as well, it's like I was just holding myself to like such like heteronormative standards, and it's like I wish, yes, I wish like I knew that wasn't important, and virginity is a social construct, and such
Yeah.
basically I wish you kind of like, because obviously I guess it's weird, it's one of those things that like I knew like in my head, I was like logically like I know it's not gonna like, it is a social construct, and like I'm not gonna magically change or anything, but I wish I just kind of like believed it and like felt it, and now I do. So yeah. And I guess the whole connecting with people thing, like how I wish I knew that before. I wish I knew like how important it was to like connect and stuff, and not to. Yeah, it's just hard to explain because in the kink experience I was having, I was just so like my brain was just so not there. That's the only way I can describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems that there's been a lot of learnings in this space. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like, what tip would you like to give others if they hear your story?
Oh gosh, I guess just like again, like just be patient with yourself and like just give yourself like time and stuff. And I feel that's what's helped me is like you don't need to rush into anything. Like it's just like I guess like it just sounds a bit cliche, but just like literally like one step at a time. Because like even when I was on the island, I learned how to celebrate like the little achievements of like I said before, like sitting through the animal game and things like that, like around just celebrate the little things. And I feel like before the island I wanted to go from like 0 to like 100. Just like there's lots of steps in between. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I think that's a great tip to give because I think especially when we want I don't want to use the word fix because that's the thing, like there's nothing to fix, and we want to so quickly, we want to have the answer quickly, but just to take that time and have small wins and take these little steps, and I just love the fact that you have been so ballsy to take a step like this and to actually help others, like to help others by sharing like part of your story, like as you know, and even today, as you know, with the podcast there's always one bit that I really love in the end where I'm gonna give you the one liner, or for you to not one liner, for you to come up with one word that comes up when I say to you, you're not vaginismus, but you are.
Oh, I thought this is really cheesy, but I would say like everything, like you're everything else that makes you you. Like yeah.
No, I love it, and it's so true. That's so true. Like that's where actually, if I think about it, like VME is like the me part. It's like it's all you. It's just it's a tiny bit, right?
Like you are you are everything. You are just
And vaginismus is not even you. It's a spasm.
It's a spasm.
It's a spasm. Sometimes it's not even there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the time it's not even there, actually.
Comes and goes when it wants to.
Exactly. But no, I love that answer as well. Like if others would like to get hold of you or want to ask you questions or anything, like what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I would say on Instagram. Yes, and my username is _Pia James.
Yes, _ Pia James. Okay, great. I will add it to the show notes or whatever notes that's below, so at least that people can find you when they listen. But I have truly like enjoyed listening to you, and I feel like, as you said, like we could go left, right, up, down, just because there's so much to share. And in my head, I could sit here the whole evening and like, let's just make this a series. But we have to finish somewhere. But I really, really want to thank you because it's been so lovely to hear your journey. But also, again, thank you for taking a ballsy step like this and to, be an advocate for vaginismus. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Like, do I say that right? An advocate for vaginismus. To bringing it to light.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, like you've been vulnerable. Like your other participants have been vulnerable, and they showed us how life is really.
Yeah.
And especially because we always make it as if everything is always groovy, but it's just been lovely to see everyone grow into themselves. And what you're saying as well of what you walked away with is just wonderful to hear. So
thank you so much.
So I'm gonna thank you for being here and for spending time with me. And I'm also going to thank the listeners for listening. And please do reach out to Pia or follow her on Instagram. and you get a little bit of spark there, right?
Yeah. And no boring ironing clothes.
It's like you get all the colors and who she is as well. But yeah, I can just thank you everyone for returning to the podcast as well, and I'm happy to have had you, Pia, to be one of the first ones again for me to have a podcast with this year.
Yes, but thank you so much. I've enjoyed every minute.
But okay, thanks everyone. This was the VME podcast, Vaginismus, Let's Name It Not Shame It, with Audrey Cairo. Don't hesitate to reach out or to connect on Instagram on Let's Call Her V, or find any other details about coaching and workshops on audreycairo.com/VME. The aim of the VME podcast is to support, inform, and empower you. And if you're walking away with just a little bit of that and you wish to support, please visit buymeacoffee.com/v.and-me podcast, or simply check the link in the show notes. Please know that while podcasts can be a great source for information or stories, this is not a source or substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So always consult a qualified medical professional for any medical support. And while it might be scary or difficult sometimes, don't forget to ask for what you need. You got this. Thanks for listening.